Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. We are Millennial Mom. If you don't know who is who, I'm Millennial. This is Mom.
Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, I'm Mom or Kay from Millennial Mom, and today I'm going to talk to you about 90 Day Fiancé Season 5 Episode 15, Family Matters. Now, just like with any other video, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, look down below. It says welcome to Millennial Mom. Please don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, join the channels. You know, we do all the 90 Day Fiancés over here. We do the tell-alls, the Love in Paradise, the 90 Days the Other Way, Before the 90 Days, all of that. The Family Chantel, Married at First Sight, and just a bunch of different little things over here. So please consider joining the family. And also for this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and also leave me your comments so I know what you think about these couples. Because like I say every time, I can't be the only one who's side-eyeing these couples who think they're in like the greatest relationships with their partner because it's not giving what they think is giving. Or is it just me? All right, so let's get started. On today's episode, we're going to see Kim and TJ. We're going to see Brandon and Mary. We're going to see Danielle and Yohan. We're going to see Kenny and Armando, and also Shekina and Sarper. So let's just get started with, let's throw out Kim and TJ. So they are in day 2 of the wedding ceremonies because Kim has made it to India to marry TJ. And she, you know what? She's been there before on like a student visa. And I'm surprised that Kim isn't knowing too much of what happens in Indian culture, especially when it comes to like the marriage ceremony, things like that. Now, I know that she's, come back and forth, but you would think that you would want to read up about it because it's a 3-day ceremony with different traditions, different like henna tattooing the hands and different dancing and meeting of the families and different things that's incorporated. That's not necessarily incorporated in traditional American weddings. So Kim just seems like she's really out of place and really put off by all the different events that's going on. One, because she's not familiar with these customs, and 2, because she doesn't necessarily have a translator, and TJ is running around with his family, getting things together, and she feels like she's not being told what's happening. She feels really left out. But again, it's one of those, you have to like know the culture and get to know what's really happening in advance. At least it would be for me. So like I said, it's day 2 of the wedding, and Kim is sitting around waiting for TJ to let her know what today's festivities will bring. Kim is sitting with her stepdad and her stepmom, and even her parents are asking her like, what's going on? How come we don't know anything? And Kim is just frustrated. But let me also say, in my opinion, Kim's personality gives bossy. It gives like spoiled brat kind of. It gives like, I'm an American kind of thing, that kind of attitude. Am I wrong here? Let me know in the comments. But she definitely, to me, gives bratty for sure. And it's not coming across like she's being appreciative to what's going on. I'm really trying to watch it with a grain of salt, like trying to see how the customs of the traditional Indian weddings go, because even I don't know, but hey, I'm not in that situation. But I just feel like Kim is not giving enough grace as to what's happening. Now, granted, yes, TJ should, let her know what's going on because, she's getting married to him. But at the same time, it just comes across a little ungrateful to me where Kimberly's concerned, like what's actually happening. But Kimberly's stepmom suggested that, have you talked to TJ? Maybe you should call him. So Kim decides to call to see what's going on, to see the events of the day. When she's talking to him, then TJ, he's clearly in the area because she hangs up the phone and here walks in TJ. And he's trying to explain to her what the traditions are and what's going to happen for the day. And it's just that, again, Kim is saying in confessional, she understands, at least that's what she says, right? The dynamics of what's going on, but she can't understand if she's constantly complaining. She says that she's a spiritual person and she just wants to know what more is entailed with the wedding. And it's just, I don't know. It's like I think she wants to marry TJ, and she is dedicated to getting married. She's like, to me, one of those like, this is my man, I'm getting married no matter what you say, versus trying to really learn about the actual history and the customs and everything else. So as the day goes along, there's a ceremony where TJ explained there's different spices and different things where people come in to touch the bride's feet and the groom's feet and the cheeks is the way to like mesh their souls together with this ceremony. So I guess Kimberly calmed down. She says she's got more comfortable, but she just wants to know, what's really going on. And then she did say a little bit of shade and confessional I caught. If this was a traditional American wedding, she would have been married and they would already have their time last night with TJ. So, she's trying to hurry up the process. All right. So let's move to Brandon and Mary. So when we pick back up with Brandon and Mary, they're still having a conversation with Brandon, Mary, and Mary's grandfather, who she calls Lolo. Lolo is upset that Brandon and Mary went ahead and had their time a couple weeks ago when the grandfather and grandmother was out on the other island, Manila, and Mary ended up getting pregnant. And Mary knows, and Brandon knows, that they told her, listen, no touching, no kissing, no lovemaking without permission, and definitely not before marriage. But hey, they got caught up. Mary's pregnant. So the grandmother last week told Mary that, she's pregnant. She understands. And maybe, y'all can move forward to like get this union together and, get married together, as a union, as husband and wife. But you need to explain this to Lolo, because Lolo is not understanding the disrespect that you showed the household here when we're away or whatever. Because see, Brandon has clearly showed his behind. Okay. Brandon has had an attitude. He keeps the TV up at level 100. He's arguing. He's fussing. He's not cleaning. He's not pulling his weight around his house. Okay. And he's causing a ruckus, and that is not going over well. That is not even going well with Mary, because Mary is like, you know what? If Brandon can't get it together, maybe we don't need to be together. Maybe he should consider going home, because I don't need this drama upon me in the household. I mean, I already disrespected my grandparents by getting pregnant, so I'm making them look bad, and the neighbors are talking about us and everything. But Brandon showing his butt is just a different level, and we don't need this. But Brandon ended up apologizing to Mary and the grandfather. He said that he will take more of an effort to control his temper, to help out more, to grab a hold to get peace in the house, and grab a hold to get himself together in general, because he said he knows how it feels growing up to be in a household where there was chaos, and he doesn't want to bring this to his baby and into anything else that's going on with Mary. And then Brandon asked Lolo, Mary's grandfather, for the blessing, for the respect for her hand in marriage. And Mary said in confessional, she was surprised that Brandon was even going to ask her grandfather. And I'm thinking, why would it be a surprise? Because Brandon came all the way here, to be with you. And eventually the plan was to get married. But maybe I think she meant like in that moment to ask Lolo for her hand in marriage. And Lolo accepted that, yes, it was fine to get married and go ahead and, make this a respectable union. Okay. So that's what they decided to go. And yeah. But one thing I need Brandon to do is, I think last week or the week before, he said he couldn't necessarily work right now because, one, he don't know the language, and two, he don't have the proper paperwork. But I'm gonna need Brandon, not just with that little shop where they sell chips and cookies and soda and shampoo and whatever else on the side of the road, to find him some more little odd jobs. Maybe he could go with Lolo to help out or something, to bring in some extra cash, because A, you need it for the household, and B, you need it for the upcoming wedding and upcoming baby. So I'm gonna need Brandon to get it a little bit together more than what he's doing. All right, so let's move to Danielle and Yohan. I mean, how many times do we have to see Danielle and Yohan go back and forth arguing over what you said you would do for me and my family and what you said you would do for me and my family? Like literally a Groundhog Day every time they come around. So Danielle has set up a appointment with a life coach, because apparently Yohan feels like a mental health counselor or a therapist is like a bad thing. So, or maybe in his culture is viewed different. I don't know how the way Danielle was trying to explain it, but Danielle feels like hearing the word life coach would be a much better option for Yohan. So it like kind of takes out the stigma as a therapist kind of thing. I'm like, I guess to me, it's really the same. I guess depends on your credentials. I don't know. Well, before they can even get to the life coach, they're already arguing in the car about finances and how Danielle hasn't been able to give him a natural baby, conceived by herself and all this other stuff. And so that upsets Danielle. And again, every conversation is about the finances. Why hasn't Yohan moved to America? Because Yohan's trying to move to America for the American dream. And Danielle's like, no, I want to be in DR because, listen, I'm trying to take a break from what I'm doing in America, from the hustle and bustle. I want to live in paradise with my man, relax on the beach. That's it. And on top of that, if some of you know or some of you don't know, it came out when they were on the Love in Paradise franchise last season that Danielle had filed for bankruptcy. So maybe Danielle is trying to get her stuff together, and maybe Yohan don't necessarily know about all those little extras. So who knows what's going on with that. So anyways, they make it to the life coach office, and Danielle already mentions why they're there, because yes, they're not getting along. I mean, honestly, for the last year, whether it be this franchise, 90 Day the Other Way, or the 2 times it was on Love in Paradise, they haven't been getting along because Danielle, it comes across like she wants to do things and retire in, or at least take some time off from her lifestyle in America, live in paradise with her man. But then she's going to tell the therapist that Yohan wants her to have, she said she's been there for 3 months, that he wants her to have a house, a car, a house for his family, and just finances left over, the business, all that stuff. She said that Yohan wants things from her the way he wants them from her. Okay. And I'm like, well, I mean, if you put the finances to the side, I'm going to say it's the same thing for Danielle too. She wants things the way she wants it to be as well. But see, Danielle's trying to flip the script, trying to make it seem like Yohan wants to be a kept man, and that's not what she's about. But I mean, I just don't see Yohan being sold the American dream, or the things that Danielle was offering to him, saying we can have this, this, and this. But then when she gets to the DR, she flips that script, because that's exactly what happened. And so Yohan said, listen, yeah, I mean, he thought he would have a house and everything else because that's what she said. That's what Danielle said. But at the same time, Yohan said to the life coach that not only that, but Danielle told me that I could sit at home and be with the dog all day while she went out to work and I didn't have to do nothing. Danielle said, I don't know where you got that from, but that simply is not true. And I was like, listen, there's a bunch of stories coming out, little bits and pieces every time we see them. But so if Danielle feels like Yohan is acting like he wants to be a kept man, and then Yohan said that Danielle suggested that when she came to the DR to live, that she would do everything. Yeah, it's giving that maybe there's a little bit of truth in what Yohan is saying, because why would he just think that, especially, again, when he wants to come to America to better his life? So, well, they worked through whatever they could work through. They put on a temporary Band-Aid, as they always do, because that's exactly what it is, a temporary Band-Aid, because guaranteed next episode, they'll be back at it again for something else. They decided that they will work on their communication and move forward together. So again, we'll see how long that lasts. All right, so let's move to Kenny and Armando. So Kenny, Armando, and Hannah are out today to talk about what's going to happen going forward. Kenny and Armando are going to tell Hannah that they are going to move to Mexico City and ask her opinion, and to let Hannah know that they decided that they were going to move forward to get a baby brother or sister for Hannah. I'm not sure if they talked about the surrogacy process, but they want to let her know that, yes, that's in the works. So when they sit down to talk to Hannah, everything is going well. Hannah said that she likes Mexico City, but she was a little bit apprehensive of moving. But she did say if they did move, she liked the school, so she would be okay with it. Kenny and Armando told her, well, that's great that you like the schools, and when we get there, you get to fill it out to see if you like it, and if not, maybe you can go to a different one or something. But there's plenty of things to do in Mexico City, and we decided for us as a family, that's what we want to do, to move to more opportunities to that big city. So then Armando said to Hannah, now, we've been talking about having a baby brother or sister. How do you feel about it now? Because Kenny and I decided that's what we're going to do. And then Hannah kind of pulled back a little bit. She was saying that, she didn't know at first, but would it be a older brother or sister, like someone her age, or a baby? And so when Armando asked, like, why you don't want a baby around, and Kenny said it would be fine, have a little baby brother or sister. But Hannah said no, because what if the baby took too much time and attention away from Armando? And, she was feeling a little bit bad about that. And then Armando told her that you're my daughter, you're my one and only, you're my firstborn, you're my best friend. Nothing and no one is going to come between us. And, having another baby would just enhance our family. And so Hannah was like, okay, she thought about it. And then she said, well, would the baby speak English or Spanish? And Kenny said the baby or the brother, sister, whether older or younger, will speak both. You'll help teach the baby both languages. And so then Hannah started to think about it. Then she started to brighten up. She started to smile. And she's like, well, can they stay in my room? Can we share the same room? And Kenny said, oh, that's what you want? She was like, yeah, that would be fun. So I don't know. Hannah seems to be okay with it. She having a new sibling. But of course, with if whether it be a natural sibling or not, when a new sibling comes in, there's sometimes some jealousy that goes on when there's a new brother or sister. But Hannah is a little older, which she's like 11, 12. So maybe the process for her will be just a little bit easier if and when they do bring a new family member into the home. So, but Hannah did say, though, if it was a baby, she's not changing no diapers. So don't even ask her to do none of that. So, all right. Now let's move to finally Shekina and Sarper. Shekina and Sarper. So today, Shekina's sister, Shariah, is coming to Turkey for the weekend. I said, okay, girl, you just coming for the weekend? Okay, I would have stayed like at least a week to get my money's worth, but it's for the weekend. So Shekina and Sarper pick up Shariah from the airport, not from the airport, from the hotel. I think she already made it to the hotel and everything. So they pick her up, and it was kind of like an awkward kind of vibe with everybody, especially the sister. But let me just jump back a little bit. I just jumped ahead just a little bit. Before Shekina and Sarper picked her up, Shekina was telling Sarper, like, listen, my sister's a little bit more critical. She's not me, so I would like for you to make a good impression, because she's going to go home and tell the family how it is that you treat me, how I'm doing out here. And I just really want you to really be on your best behavior. So Sarper is going to cook dinner for everybody when they make it back to the house. And Sarper was saying, after Shekina was saying about how her sister's more critical, he goes, well, does she need to know that I weigh you and I watch what you wear and I want to be sure what you look like? Shekina was like, no. Don't say that. She said, because you say that, then it's like you're trying to change me. And I don't want her to think that. Shekina, that would be correct. I mean, again, red flags do not change green. How many times do these red flags have to hit you in the face for you to be like, this man is trying to change me into what he wants me to be? Because even before she came over, they were saying, before she came over and when she kind of got there, she was saying how she had to weigh a certain amount, like under 138 pounds or something like that. She had to look a certain way. She had to have a certain aesthetic. And then for Sarper to say what he said to Shekina, what he would say to her sister, and she was like, don't say that because she'll think different of me. Yeah, I'm gonna need Shekina to get a reality check quick, fast, and a hurry. So when they pick up the sister and they bring her back to the house, the sister looks around the room, and I'm like, girl, don't sit on that sofa. Don't sit on that sofa. Okay, like sit on the chair, but not the sofa. So she looks around the room, and Shekina gets slippers for everybody. I guess they wear slippers in the house. I don't know. But Shariah says to Sarper, oh, so, what are you cooking? Or he told her he was cooking something like that. And Sarper said, well, I'm making this recipe from my grandfather because, we don't have no stove. There's no heat. So I'll be making it by hand. So she goes, oh, so we're having like raw meat? He's like, yeah, it's good. I haven't made it in about 10 years. So she's like, okay. So when Shekina came back, I guess with the slippers and everything, her sister Sharia was looking around while Sarper was preparing the meal. She was like, you got a lot of alcohol bottles in that cabinet. So are those alcohol bottles like, do they mean something to you? Were they for had them for like a date or something? Sarper's like, no. Of course, I had drinks with whoever but most of those bottles are empty. See, he missed the point there. I understand his English isn't the best, but the point was, were you keeping those alcohol bottles for a memento to remind you of the conquest you had up in here? That's what Shariah was trying to get at. So then the conversation turned into social media. And there's a big to-do before Shekina even got to Turkey to be with Sarper about Shekina not being on Sarper's social media. He don't want her to post anything about her. So Shariah called Sarper out on it. She's like, so what about with the social media thing? So have you posted each other yet? Or how come she can't see anything? Sarper's like, no, that's not necessary. So Shariah says, so well, let me see your DMs. Are there people in your DMs? He goes, no, that's not necessary. He said, why would I let you see my DMs? For what? Shariah says, well, we're not in a relationship. Why can't I see your DMs? He goes, no, that's rude, right? So then the conversation turned to Shekina telling Sarper, like, look, don't be rude to my sister. She's just asking a question about social media. And Shariah was like, yeah, because if you can't post each other, he clearly has something to hide. In confessional and to Shariah, Sarper said, I don't have nothing to hide. It's rude. He said he would die if Shekina found out or anybody found out what was on his personal instant messages. And I'm like, oh, really? They would die? So that means you still have messages about your conquest or future conquest or people trying to holler at you in those DMs. Because remember, he's been with 2,500 women. And even though Shekina knows this seemed to like be okay with her because she's the one for the moment, right? Now, also, when the conversation about social media is up, the way Sarper was responding to Shekina when Shekina was saying, hey, don't talk to my sister rude like that, he said, oh, well, when you're on social media, when I text you, you don't respond. So are you out there being like a slur? Are you out there being a bee? And they were like, excuse me, what? You called me what? He goes, yeah, that's how you're acting. She goes, that is not what I'm doing. And I don't appreciate that. And Shariah looked at her sister was like, what? Are you going to take him talking to you like this? Like, you know what? I'm getting up. I'm going home. Going to the hotel. I don't want no dinner. I don't want nothing. I see what's going on here and I can't take this disrespect. Now, in confessional, Shekina, though, said that she understood because Sarper has limited English. And so she was like, yeah, it's the wrong time, the wrong place to make those comments, but maybe he doesn't know the meaning of slur and being a bee. So she's like, I just don't take it any type of way. I'm like, once again, and yes, I need the shirt. Red flags do not change to green. Now, just because your English is limited, you cannot tell me. He may be able to tell her. You can't tell me, and you can't tell her sister Shariah, and probably most of us watching, that he don't know that slur or bee is offensive. That's all I got to say about that. So, yeah, Shekina, I need you to get it all. Sorry, y'all. Shekina, I need you to get it all the way together, and I need you to get it together right now. So, all right, y'all. I apologize for that. That was the end of the episode. So next week, we're going to see Kim and TJ. They finally reached day 3 of them getting married. And then we see Kenny and Armando going to the surrogacy for an egg donor. And then we have Sarper and Shekina having dinner. And she's telling Shekina that she understands him And Sarper says he's feeling ashamed. So what are you feeling ashamed about? Are you feeling ashamed about talking to Shekina like that and calling her out of her name, or her sister hearing you call her out her name? So, all right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, comment, and share. And until next time, everyone, live simply, be grateful.